Yes.
Great. Well, welcome everyone. And Steve, welcome back. Tracy, if you could begin our meeting with the roll call.
Chair Weber McLeod,
Present.
Mr. Andre,
Present.
Councillor Cuddy,
Here.
Ms. Crawford is on her way, Mayor Giantino,
Here.
Mr. Lovell,
Here.
Ms. Walter,
Here.
Ms. Hennigan.
Here.
Great. All of you should have received a copy of, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All of you should have received a copy of our November meeting minutes. Does anyone have any questions, comments, concerns, or recommended revisions? Everybody good? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes.
So moved. I'll second.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Cuddy, seconded by Mayor Giannatino. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. And it looks like we have some unfinished business. Tracy, would you like to lead us into this conversation?
Sure. So the first thing on the agenda is the authorizing resolution for the 4042 South Street project. This resolution would be authorizing the incentives for the project. The total incentive being requested is about $81,500. That's sales and use tax exemption and mortgage recording tax exemption only. There's no pilot associated with this project. A couple of things to point to in the resolution is that we did add in some stipulations that are specific to this kind of a housing project around compliance with or paying property taxes, compliance with code, so making sure that any code violations are being addressed. With rental housing, code violations do happen. So what we're looking for is to ensure that any code violations are addressed within the cure period. And we've also listed a stipulation around having a third-party manager that has experience with affordable housing. So those are kind of new to this resolution. And Steve is here to answer any additional questions you might have about the project, but otherwise we can move forward with the resolution.
I have some questions. I see where it's to reactivate the house. How many units had there been prior to the fire?
22.
How many?
22. There were 22 prior to the fire, and there's going to be 22 after the fire. We're doing a gut rehab.
Yes.
We're going to, sorry.
No. I don't know why the assessor had it that way, but it was 22 prior.
Karen, were you able to hear Steve's response?
Yeah, thank you.
Great.
I had a couple other questions.
Please do.
The land and acquisition costs. So it was owned by Mr. Grillo and Mr. Savino.
It's only owned by Drew Savino through one of his holding corporations called Carmeg.
Okay. And so how does that on the budget or on the listing, how does that, why is there a land and acquisition cost?
Because we have to buy it from that corporation. That was all negotiated with HCR with the program we're using. They did an appraisal, and he's got a mortgage to pay off as well. So that mortgage will be paid off at the time of acquisition. So
will there be a new?
Yeah, there's a new entity involved. It's 4042 South LLC.
Okay. All right. I guess one of the questions, so you had the time to look through it more methodically in just being a taxpayer and a member at large. I saw where the consultant said that they're very tiny. the square footage. In our codes, a studio apartment is supposed to be at 300 and some odd square feet. So I'm a little concerned as to why this isn't going to the planning board for the seeker and for a site plan review. I don't know if there's going to be parking. I don't know what, and those are all the things that planning board would flush out.
So I'll take this question.
Okay.
That determination was made by the planning office because it's an in-kind, basically what was there is being replaced in kind. So it actually doesn't trigger a site plan and under the site plan law. And so the planning office did take a very close look at it, but it did not rise to a point that it actually triggered the site plan because there are actually they are replacing what was there with the same thing, just updated and upgraded and some new materials and such. So the site plan wasn't necessary or allowed under the code. Trust me, I tried to get them to do the seeker.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking in terms of parking and, I'll get to that. I'll get to that part of the code. Because I mean, I'm all about transparency. And if I'm thinking about it, there's gotta be at least 20 people out on the street that are thinking about it.
Yeah. No.
And,
Again, that's just the nature of it being an in-kind replacement, is that it didn't trigger a planning board review.
but yet there has been discussions going on.
Yes.
And there is a site plan that is being looked at by
They
city.
looked at it to make sure it wouldn't trigger a site plan, and their determination was that it was not a site plan eligible project.
So again, a studio required area of habitable space is 500 square feet. And these are 200 and, am I right saying 220 square feet for the studios?
I don't think they're that small. I would have to look them up.
I can do that.
Yeah, the average is about in the fours. But you've got to remember that HCR, who runs all the affordable housing in the state, has also already reviewed all this and approved it too. And in addition, this was functioning as a 22 unit apartment building prior to the fire. And it's going back exactly the way that it was. So I don't know that I understand your concern and your questions, but I don't know that they're necessarily relevant because planning has already signed off on it. So I'm happy to answer whatever you'd like answered. I just don't know that this is the proper forum. But go ask away.
Studio apartments will be small in size, from 228 to 297 square feet.
Okay.
And that's 12 of them, and 5 that range from 329 to 492 square feet. So that is significantly less than what code requires.
Yeah, so again, this is the nature of, this was approved originally, potentially under a different code. And since the use is not changing, it gets grandfathered. Whether it's a new code or it was approved previously via a variance or whatever the case may be, it was previously approved and it is grandfathered because it's an in-kind replacement and there's not a change in use.
Karen, did
What
you
will
have
the
another
park-
question?
Sure, what will the parking be?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
What will the parking be? Will there be parking, off-street parking?
Yeah, it's my understanding there's a parking garage right nearby. Number one. Number two, the reason that this is well suited for its intended use is everything is walkable and as well available for regular public transportation. Also things that HCR looks at very closely when they're administering programs like this.
So again, for your grace and indulgence, HCR is historic resources.
It's Homes and Community Renewal.
Okay,
So that's the housing entity of the state.
okay. Well, as long as, until I find what I'm looking for, I do have some questions on the seeker, but I don't know if that's premature.
So as far as the seeker is concerned, I mean, that's part of the resolution, so.
It's a type 2 action. It doesn't require any further action because again, it's an in-kind rehab of an existing structure.
Well, there are some questions regarding the remediation. And on the seeker, there's mention that there's remediation efforts that are going to be needed. Can you explain what that's going to involve?
We're going to remediate the entire building. There's minor contaminants in the building, thankfully, but essentially we're gutting it to the studs. We're putting in brand new electric, brand new HVAC. Every apartment will be brand new from scratch.
And so minor contaminants, are you referring to like lead or asbestos or?
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of asbestos in some old pipes, but you know, the building is old enough where asbestos materials weren't really around in the original construction. And I'm sure there's some lead-based paint that they're going to pull out. We did hire an environmental firm to do all that review, and they'll be following the laws when they take it out that OSHA and everybody else requires now.
It's noted that there's going to need to be a permit through the New York State DOT on the secret. Can you elaborate on that?
It says state DOT.
A permit.
Let me see what that's talking about. Sorry, I didn't intend to answer questions on the seeker.
So it says there be government approvals, state agencies. It says New York SHPO project review, State Department of Transportation, 9/24/2025. So it looks like it might have actually already been completed. So it would have been, they do a review of the ingress egress.
Right. I'm just looking at we had the engineer fill this out, obviously with our assistance, but they would have already done that if there's any sort of, like you said, ingress or egress. I think that's is that a county road or a state road?
34 is state.
Yeah, so the state DOT's got to sign off on it. But again, it's existing use and there's other driveways already on that street. It's just a formality.
Everything with the state is a formality.
Check the box.
Is there, Karen, did you get all your questions asked and answered, Karen?
So far, I still, somebody else may have something. Oh, I do have one other question. the construction company, will you be using Housing Visions? Because they have
No.
a construction company as well.
No, we're using Rich and Gardner out of Syracuse. Will be the GC, and then they will be using a number of local subcontractors to be compliant with the IDA requirements, as well as, you know, Brendan and Drew do business all over the city, and they have plenty of people who do work for them. So we're going to be hopefully even exceeding the IDA's requirements on local labor.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen, for your questions. Anyone else? If not, then I would entertain a motion to place this resolution on the floor.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilor Cuddy. A second? Dan?
Second.
Any additional discussion?
I just want to note a slight change from what was in the packet, the fourth paragraph of the resolutions themselves, section 4, only refer to the recapture of the sales tax, and to recapture all the benefits.
Tracy, we lost. Oh, there he is. That's just okay. I see what you're doing.
Is that section 4?
Yeah.
So we have the updated copy and
No, you do not have the update copy.
So do we need a motion to amend it so that we are have the same? Did we want to vote on?
Just move the amended one.
Yeah, you vote on it as amended,
Okay, very good.
and I can circulate it around it.
So Councilor Cuddy, would you be willing to revise your motion so that it aligns with what we've just been talking about with Rob?
About recapture. Okay. Can you just say it a little bit louder?
So the amendment is to just pick up the fact that the company is receiving benefits of both sales tax exemption and mortgage would be in the past. Sales tax exemption and mortgage recording tax payment. The copy of the packet only referred to sales tax. One of them. The effective paragraph, and it should refer to both.
So I'd like to bring that to include both items into the amended resolution.
Thank you. And Dan, are you willing to second that revised?
Second.
Any further discussion?
And before we go to the vote, I'm always impressed with the thoroughness that Karen comes into these meetings with. I really appreciate your homework, Karen. You are a real, got a concussion headache going.
Astute.
Astute, thank you. And I thank you for that. It's a privilege to work with you.
I agree. So thank you so much. If there's no further discussion, Tracy, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Yes, of course. Chair Weber McLeod,
Yes.
Mr. Andre,
Aye.
Mr. Lovell.
Aye.
Ms. Crawford,
I
Ms. Walter,
No.
Councilor Cuddy,
Yes.
Ms. Hennigan,
Aye.
Mayor Giantino.
No.
The motion passes. So Steve, I will be in touch, and we'll get Rob in touch with your lawyer to get the paperwork.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate everybody's support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Happy holidays, Steve.
Happy holidays.
To you too.
Thank you.
Okay, moving forward, we've requesting an adjustment in the order of the meeting. We have something that we need to discuss in executive session. So I would entertain a motion for us to enter into executive session.
Karen?
So-
And so Karen, the mayor, and this is for, to discuss the employment or engagement of a particular firm or person.
Great. So Tracy, are you doing all the things that lead us into executive session?
All in favor?
Oh, sorry, all in favor? Thank you.
Yes.
We were doing our ventriloquist act.
Sorry, I just need to get this paused. Oh, I'm working on the wrong computer. That's why.
Yes, no mistake.
That's aggressive.
Well, it's your right now.
So the next order of business for us would be to understand where we are in our working relationship with MRB. We need to have a motion that would extend our contract. It technically would end, I think, at the end of December. We are requesting, and we need to entertain a motion to extend that contract through the end of January. Could someone? Thank you.
Then to the end of January.
Right. And a second? Thank you. Any further discussion about that? If not, does this have to be a roll call, Trace, or can I just call it?
No, you
All
can
those,
just
okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes. Great, thank you. Thank you for everyone. So
Thank
it
you.
looks we have some unfinished business. I'm keeping track of my time on my end too. We are good to go. So any unfinished business? Tracy, you have some things on the agenda?
Yes. So if you don't mind, I'm going to skip UTEP for now. We'll come back to UTEP if we have time. I'd rather punt it than rush it. So the pilot invoice and disbursement report was in the packet. Those have been steadily coming in. We're right around where we were last year in terms of collection, or as of last week when I put this together. So no surprises. I have heard from a few folks that said that it'll come in at the end of December. So at this point, I'm not worried. And if we do have some late ones, we'll assess the fees and go from there. But we did have a set of pilot disbursements go out on the 9th, just because one of them was going to be past the 30 days if we waited until today. So I went ahead and just made a disbursement on the 9th, and that is on the bills sheet for your review, but all appears to be well with the pilot invoice and disbursement. Any questions on that?
The conversation about having the county get paid in January, will that be part of a UTEP like paragraph if we're going to change how we disperse, or that can be just done internally?
Yeah, the UTEP doesn't have anything about the timing, so we would do that internally and with our partners to address that and make sure that any pilots that need to be amended to make that change are done, but most of them don't actually have a specific date in them. So
I think there's only one that does.
yeah, so most of them just say you'll pay it when we invoice you. So early next year, we're going to pick that conversation back up and just make sure everyone's on board and then notify all the companies so they know what to expect.
Okay, thank you, Tracy.
Anything else, Trace? Just any other general updates?
So general updates. One thing that we just need to be aware of is that the whole board your terms are up at the end of January. So city council will be doing reappointments, and we just want to make sure that everyone is interested in being reappointed. If you are not interested in being reappointed, please let myself and/or the mayor know so that we can begin looking for someone to fill that seat. And it sounds like, have you heard from Elaine? I'm guessing Elaine's not going to join us.
There was another board she joined. She felt it would conflict in the time frame, so she said she would get back to me. And I haven't heard. I'm assuming the answer is no.
Yeah.
Still need somebody, a member of industry.
So we'll keep our eyes out for that.
Think about possible people at Med especially since that pilot's done. The one person I have in mind already serves on a city board, and I don't know if she want to do another one. So
Yeah, but it's tough. Cortland Cayuga Workforce Development Board, we're always short.
yeah.
So we'll continue to work on that, and like I said, think about it. Let us know if you are not interested in continuing on. Otherwise, we'll assume that you are, and you'll get appointed anyway.
This is my favorite board.
I know, right?
In my church, we call that being voluntold, okay? You're being voluntold if you don't give us anything different to talk about. Continue, Trace.
And then just an update that the 2026 budget has passed, and the $150,000 we had talked about previously did remain in the budget. So the next step will be for us to get a resolution to allocate those funds to the specific purposes in January. So hopefully we'll be able to get that done smoothly. And then finally, the request for qualifications for technical assistance did go out. It is posted to the city's website. I've received a question from one firm, but otherwise folks have just kind of said like, okay, we'll take a look and let you know. Those are due back before our January meeting, so hopefully we'll have a few proposals to look at. My intention is to come with a set of recommendations around these folks really met what we're looking for versus these ones didn't, and make sure that everyone's kind of on an even keel. So hopefully we'll be able to review those at the January meeting. And that's it for general updates.
Dill Street has not closed.
I wonder.
Yeah, they have not made any moves to close it. I've been pressing them. I'd say they've got to close it by the end of January, otherwise they're going to miss the taxable status date.
You want to call Pat? Do you know what's like holding them up, or are they just?
I don't know what's holding them up. They have not communicated at all about the project.
Are we talking about the lawyers haven't communicated or the?
Well, the lawyers communicated. I transmitted the documents to the lawyer. He was nonplussed that I was communicating with him at all because he did not know about the project. And since then, he said he'll take a look and get back to me. And done anything since then.
I'll call Pat.
Let's call Pat.
I will call Pat.
When you call Pat, you know, also let him know to call me because I got a complaint about the sidewalks not being shoveled.
Okay. I'll ask him to call you.
But I suspect they will close in January.
So, but they're gonna be late then? For the tax?
They need to be closed by February 1st.
Yes.
Well, they need to be, okay, so by the end of January.
So we've been sitting around with the having not brought in the actual money for the administrative fee. It's not in their accounts. Both, but not.
Yeah.
Okay.
The nursing home.
Yeah.
And did you get an administrative fee for 40?
Yep.
42.
Yeah, so they paid their application fee, and when they close, they'll pay an administrative fee. That one that'll be, we're capped at 10% of the estimated benefit, so it won't be a huge fee, but a few $1,000s.
And then Tessa, I think it's you and Tracy on the bills and the financial report.
So for bills, there are two bills to be dispersed. One is the chamber dues for 2026 basic membership. It's $360. And then the November MRB group invoice.
Anyone have questions about the bills? If not, I'll entertain a motion to pay the bills. Thank you, Karen. Second.
Second one.
Thank you, Courtney. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. And Tessa, the treasurer's report?
So I was just gonna start with the balance sheet and go down just because it's small enough. It's right up. So this report is as of November 30th. So in the pilot checking account, that's where we like to see it go in and out. Even though Tracy had just mentioned that we had received one of the pilot payments in December, it looks like, and it went out in December, but the 52,000 that was noted in the disbursement page is from WST 33 that was received, and that also, so if you look at the 2-day bank statement, you'll see that check did go up. I just wanted to point that out because we have to keep in mind that should be in and out. So the operating account has about 12,000, but we have the CE for 25,000. That one will go through April of 26. It was renewed in October through April of 26, and then we have $25,000 in savings, so that's still accessible. So the accounts receivable and those highlights, that it's part of the report that Tracy created to show that 8 that are still outstanding. And as she mentioned, those will be reviewed and assessed for the late fee. Receive those by the end of December, right? Okay. Then that accounts receivable amount, as we just discussed, is still the Dill Street project that just needs to close. And then the accounts payable is going out tomorrow. Then again, just bringing that attention back to what I always like to highlight is that sustainable piece. When you look at the total equity and the retained earnings, always be able to have conversations about that. We stay close, and if there's any questions or concerns, it sounds like the older projects are coming out way, so that can make a big difference. I'll just go over the November activity that's listed in the budget versus actual. So the $500 admin fee we received with this application that we got. The dues is the chamber. That correct? I think that's all that's in there. The office supplies is the QuickBooks, and contract services MRB. So that's where we're at. The most up-to-date information. Nice having small activities sometimes. Any questions?
If not, I'll entertain a motion to vote to accept the treasurer's report.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes. We don't have a board education item this evening. One of the updates that we have is that you saw on the agenda, I think it might have been under new business, that the board evaluation form is out. We're doing our year-end wrap. So again, we're just really encouraging you to complete the form. I am wanting to have 100% participation. Tracy, remind me, because I'm usually that girl, to make sure that we get that done. And again, your open, honest feedback is really important to us continuing to function effectively as the ADA board. So I would really appreciate that. The last thing I have quickly, just before we adjourn, is that I did attend the first meeting of the Chamber of Commerce Strategic Planning Steering Committee. Folks from Center State CEO are actually acting as the planners on this project. We had a very vibrant conversation. We learned that they weren't fully aware of the economic development dynamics in Cuba County. That really inspired them to gather some more information to really start thinking about what additional stakeholders they might interview. Thank you for allowing me to represent us, and I will keep you posted as that project progresses. So if there is no other business to come before us, I want to wish you all a very happy holidays. Rest, relax, and rejuvenate. And I will anything else? Am I running through the bus there, Tracy? See you and Rob.
So I was just asking if we should table the UTEP or if it's okay to just bring it back.
And what did Rob say?
I don't think you need to table it.
Yeah, we can just bring it back.
All right, because I'll pull this train out the station. We will be home. I would entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All right. All those in favor?
Yep. See you. Aye.
You too.
Happy holidays, everyone, and thank you for being here.
Thanks, Gwen.
Take
Good
care.
luck.
Be well. Thank you.
On the grandmother's over first. Yeah, she's been there since March. Has she been? Yeah.